Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Andrew Davis, and you're watching Conversations in Pop Culture, brought to you by Mix-Up Printing, which is my sponsor, which is the smarter way to print. Printing your creative projects can be confusing, stressful, but Mix-Up is here to make it easy. From their instant quote calculator that lets you get as many quotes as you want for free to their 24-hour customer support, Mix-Up is here to make sure your printing experience runs smoothly from start to finish. You can choose from a range of premium printing options and materials. And the company has also printed so many people's Kickstarter campaigns who have been on this show. And a bunch of them you have heard about. You're going to hear about a bunch of them in the upcoming weeks who I have coming on. And they print in the United States, Canada, Australia, and the UK. And Mix'em can print and reach your audience anywhere around the world. So if you're ready to print smarter, not harder, head over to mixum.com. And listeners of the show right now can drop my name, Andrew Davis, in the message tab of a current order to get a 5% discount on their first order. And I know when you're running any type of printing project, 5% can make the difference between you having more money to fulfill your goal and more money for your project to be profitable. So that is mixam.com. Again, type my name, Andrew Davis, in the message tab and get 5% off your very first order. And so without further ado, I have professional wrestler Don't Die Miles. So welcome to the show, man.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate for being on, man. I appreciate
it. Yeah, I'm super excited, and we're pretty much going to be talking about 3 or 4 promotions this entire interview because those are the only promotions that matter. But before we get into that, I am curious how you got into wrestling because you are not new, but I think you're 5-6 years into your career at this point.
Yeah. I've started around gyms and stuff like that, and I've started from a place that we shouldn't talk about, but it's a different place right now. But yeah, I started. I'm 5 or 6 years in. I've been in between gyms right now, actually, and I've been training. I've been training at New Wave Pro, and I've been wrestling there, and been trying to get my foot in the door other places too. And I've been just going around and just trying to make my name out there and make sure that I'm a good, fun person to watch, and make sure that I can attract people from their everyday lives and put on a good show.
Yeah, and obviously, I don't really want to talk about training because I think you've been on a bunch of interviews and you spoke about that already. But I really want to talk about, I think, the last 3 years. And we're going to be talking about 3 or 4 promotions, as I stated. And I think the best place, and we're doing it slightly out of order, is Asylum Wrestling Revolution. And you've had a bunch of matches there. And so I'm curious how you came into that. I know it's a little bit out of order chronologically, but it's going to make sense. I promise everybody, it's going to make sense.
You're good. You said Rival Revolution?
Asylum Wrestling Revolution, I want to say.
Asylum Wrestling. Oh, AWR. Gotcha. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, you're scaring me. I'm the interviewer here. I did my homework, and I'm already getting scared. Thanks. I really appreciate it. Sorry. I'm already not nervous enough.
I'm nervous too. Trust me. We both got butterflies, but it's still going to be all right. Yeah, AWR is actually a good place. Gary Emmett actually runs it, and he helps runs it, and it's a good place to wrestle at because I've held tag team championships there before, and me and Freddie and a couple other people that have been wrestling there, and it's actually a pretty good place to wrestle, and I like it so far, and they've been good to me, so they're actually pretty good peoples.
And so to even talk about this, because there is certain matches that are amazing. And one of your first matches there was a doors, ladders, and chairs 3-way. And about Cole Radrick, Dewey Wellington was in there. And what was that like? I think this was your first experience, or one of your first experiences, having basically a doors, ladders, and chairs match. And obviously Cole Radrick is a beast of a human being.
Yeah, Cole was actually pretty cool. Cole is the man that's going to be. He's already a star, and he's already don't even know how much. I look up to Cole, so it's just to see him grow from where I've seen him from before, and just to see him the way his brain works, and he has these ideas, and he's come up with stuff just like that, and it's just wow. I look up to Cole, and I'm just he's a big brother to me, so he has a great place in my heart, and I just wish I could be like him, to be honest. But uh, um, I look up to Cole for I've been looking up to Cole for like a while, and the way he put matches together, it just blows my mind away. And he's just one of those good people that is going to be on TV here soon, and he's going to give that man a world.
And also Cole, because we're going to talk about one of my favorite wrestlers in a little bit, but Cole is also more in your peer group with wrestling versus
Yes.
somebody else. And so it's very interesting when you're looking up to somebody who's in your peer group versus looking up to somebody who is a 20-year veteran. And I'm not going to say who it is yet, but I think you know who I'm talking about. And and so obviously we're going to get to that. But even going further into AWR, obviously you and Freddie sort of formed Shooters Don't Die. And
Yeah.
how did this come about? Because it's very interesting. I think you guys teamed up first, and then the team name came a little bit later. And then there's all these matches that happened with this. I know that you had a match against Satsu Jin and Joseph Schwartz and a variety of other people. How did this team form about?
So Sam Knight was supposed to come in to help me face Nolan and Dylan Daringer, and he happened to get injured. So I just I dug in my bag of trick and I called Freddie, and then he said he'll be there. So we just formed I already knew him, so I was like, we just formed. I had a back pocket kind of trick, so I actually run that out, and I was like, well, since Sam couldn't be here, I'll just go ahead and just got a second person to be here, and I was like, yeah. So it was like a calling from God to where it's like, oh, I'm sorry, but Sam's injured, but like I have to dig my bad tricks and find somebody else to placement, and then we just formed Shooters Don't Die from there, and it just been like taking off from there, and we got a couple other people that's in Shooters Don't Die too as well, Shooters Don't Die family, and I'm just grateful to be a part of this journey and this ride. So
And let's talk about that because obviously you form Shooters Don't Die. You're in this tournament, and then you are in a doors, ladders, and chairs match, a four-way, and obviously the original Sins was in there, the Death Threat Army was in there, the Black
yeah,
Club Society was in there, and obviously you have a bunch of have 8 guys wrestling each other with doors, tables, chairs, everything in between. And what was that like? Because that match was chaotic. Just watching it is a very chaotic, very plunder-filled match, and the ring crew had a lot of fun during that
yeah.
match and after the match. I would imagine to some degree. So, what was that match like? And then also, obviously, winning it is very cool too.
Yeah, just being in that match was just like over like just very I'm very grateful to be in that match to where they have enough faith to believe in me and just put on a banger with the Black Cube Society, Original Sins, and Death Threat Army. They they had we had some fun in that match, and we tore the house down that day, and I'm just happy to be a part of AWR where they put the straps on us. So I'm just happy to be a part of that company and do great things in there like we did before. So I'm just happy to be a part of any kind of company that books me. So I'm just happy.
And then also, you had a bunch of title defenses.
Yeah.
And title defenses are interesting because obviously you're dealing with facing the original Sins and knowing them. Obviously, I think Freddie Hudson got hurt or he couldn't make a show. And then Mo Atlas replaced Freddie in one of them against the Black Cub Society. And then also you had another, three-way doors and ladders and chairs match. And obviously, I think Ron Bass wound up replacing Freddie. And so, what was this like? Because obviously, you adjusting and wrestling always changes and things are always moving where people can't make it and you got to go on the fly and even finding new partners and then gelling with new partners. And so, what was this like really, being defending these titles and having to defend the titles and having to adjust to new partners?
Uh, so I knew about like Ron Bass and like Freddie and everybody else, like Mo Atlas and them. So like, it was like I have allies too. So it was like I have to like look around, I have to scavenge around, I have to figure out stuff and like just making sure that like I can make all these changes. They change very quickly. So like I just have to like think on my feet and try to like go with the flow and just try to like make sure that everything's okay. Like have a back plan for back plans for back plans, and just try to make sure that like I have like all these people in my back, like not in my back pocket, but like I have to like reach out to everybody and make sure that like I have a plan B or a plan C or a plan A or a plan F or and stuff like that. So like just having all these plans in my head, just trying to make sure that like I reach out to people and make sure that I can find a replacement so that I can go on with the show, and this is the show that needs to be performed, and make sure that I have allies and friends that help me any kind of position I'm in. So I'm just grateful to be a part of Shooters on Die, and I'm grateful to be a part of the family that I'm part of and the friends that I have.
And then even going further into this, because Shooters Don't Die isn't just an AWR team. Obviously, you wrestled, I think, in Paradigm Pro Wrestling, and you also wrestled in Ohio Wrestling Alliance. And obviously, I like cryptocurrency, so you got to face the Bitcoin Boys, which I just love their tag team name, and I love their entire gimmick. And so, what was this like to bring it outside of AWR? Because it is cool when tag teams get to leave promotions and they're not just a promotion tag team, they're a tag team beyond a promotion, and fans know it, and fans get to know sort of rivalries that take place. And I think it's very important in wrestling when that happens.
It was amazing to me because like me and Freddie are more than just a tag team. We're friends, we're brothers, we're family, and like it's like once you once we started having matches together, we was like, oh damn, we play 2K together. We play like we have more things in common than just wrestling. So like, sorry to curse and stuff like that, but like
Oh,
it's
please,
more
please,
than
it's all
just
good. It's all good. It's the internet.
it's okay. Thank you. It's more than just a tag team. It's more like it's a family, and it is a family, and it's like I've known Freddie for a while, and I just like I talk to him a lot, and now I'm talking to him more than I talked to him ever been before. But it's just I'm just happy to be a part of the Shooters on Die family and have Ron Bass and like people like Freddie and Ron Bass and people like that of nature, and like just having them around me, just like a positive energy and just making sure I have my head on straight, and just like a family. They just lift me up whenever I need help and stuff like that, and I help them too. And it's more than just a family. It's like it's a brotherhood. So I'm just happy to be a part of it.
And then obviously I want to also talk about, and while all this was going on, you were also doing a lot of single wrestling. And one of the things that stood out was you and Braden Lee going at it. And that also expanded outside of AWR. And that
Yeah.
was a match in IW Mid South, and very, very heated rivalry between the two of you. And so what was this like, having single matches and really having this sort of at the tail end of AWR? And really going down that path, because really, really fun stuff the two of you did. And he's another one to watch out for.
Oh yeah, Braden Lee for sure, because this man he can do anything you actually ask of him, because this man's a ultra athlete, and he's one of my good friends as well. But I've I've just to have the rivalry with him is like, okay, let's see what we can like, pretty much do, and then we just had that match, and it just like we had a couple matches, and then at IW, well, we had a match at IWA, and then it was good, but then the match at AWR was even better. So like just to have that rematch and just to have that 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 home feeling of having a match with one of your friends slash rivals, and then like he can actually like put on any kind of match tell him to put on. But it's just amazing to me that I got to perform with Braden Lee, and that man is amazing. I just thank you. Just thank you to everybody that was there and stuff like that. So sorry.
And
I,
then, and
I'm
then
sorry, I'm rambling so much.
no. This is about you. It's not about me. It's all about you. It's all about you. Except when it's about me, but that's a different discussion for a different day. But even going further into that, because obviously it's the idea that, in the way I viewed the match and a lot of these matches, is that it's iron sharpening iron. Because at this point you were getting better and better and better. And very much, I felt that with a lot of these matches with Freddie and Braden Lee and a few others, that you were just starting out and then you're getting more experience, and then the next match you're a little bit better, and then fast forward 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 matches in, you're now so much better, because it's the idea that you have to face people who are really, really good to push you to become better. And it's
Yep.
so interesting because obviously prepping up for this thing, I watched a bunch of stuff that I didn't see of yours. And I was scrolling through IWTV and checking out a bunch of the stuff I knew of you from New Wave Pro, and then I went backwards, and you could see the progression if you watch it in a very short amount of time. So it's a very weird experience what I had with doing my homework on you, but it's so cool. And I watched both those matches, and I watched the AWR first, which is a very interesting experience because you can see where that's going, what you're talking about. So if you haven't seen it already, please go watch both those matches, but watch the IWA match first, I would say.
Yeah, because that one was a match. I was like, I lost it, and I was beat myself up, and I was like, I gotta get it again. And then we did it again at AWR, and I was like, okay, we're about to turn the house down on this one. And then I just went ahead and just did what I have to do, and then we pretty much tore the house down. So it was another match I needed. It was a rematch that I needed. So I was very happy to be in the ring with Braden Lee, and he delivered.
And then obviously I want to shift into another company, and that's Paradigm Pro Wrestling. And that's a crazy company. 2020, obviously you were in, I think, just sort of a battle royale that had Maria, Chet Ripley, Kayla Cassidy, Charlie Cruel, Haley J, Flash Thompson, and there was like 19 other people in there too. And that's a crazy match in of itself. And Amazing Maria scares the shit out of me. She's scary. She's like the nicest person too, I hear. But she is scary, and she's freaking jacked, and just scary. But I love Charlie Cruel. And Haley J is a little too posh for me, but that's a different discussion. But what was that like being in the match with all of these people? Because it's some of the best that Paradigm can offer.
Paradigm is actually like a world that's like all these superheroes are there, and then like you gotta like they put you in these matches where it's like, dang, like I look up to these people. It's just like Myron Reed, for example. I've been looking at Myron.
We're going to talk about him. I promise. We're going to talk about him. So even to go further into Paradigm, because they have something very cool, and I love Paradigm for one reason. I love the UWFI rules. I love the concept of what that is. And I don't know every single rule, but it's very much you got like 5 minutes, and pretty much everything is legal, I think, except the idea that you can't like remove somebody's mask. It's very respect oriented. And so, and also I think like weapons are fine technically to some degree. And so what is that like? Because you've entered that as well, and you've done a bunch of UWFI rules, and that's a whole different style of wrestling. I like it because it's fast. I like it because you got to go like 0 to 60, and you got to pull out every single stop, and you got to do whatever you got to do. And it's wrestling, but it's a fight feel, if that makes any sense.
Yes. I went against Bobby Beverly my first UWFI match, and he was suplexing the crap out of me, and I kept on just like trying to get up, and I just try to like keep fighting and try to make sure that I get up before the 10 count, and he got the best of me that match, but he kept on suplexing me, and I kept on trying to get up, and I try to keep fighting like I always do, and it was hard. It was hard. It was a match. It was a match that was hard and tested me to make sure that I can open the door and try to make sure that I can get inside Paradigm and hopefully be there next time. And I'm just grateful that Paradigm helped me elevate myself, and they gave me the opportunity that I was looking for, and they pushed me to be better, and they pushed me to be better and be pushed me to get opportunities that I didn't know that I can get, and they tested me, and I didn't know that I had the things that they looked for, and I'm just very happy that they gave me opportunities.
And then even to go further into this, because one of the biggest opportunities, and this is sort of the start of I think what got you attention as well as what started happening in New Wave Pro, is that you started having matches against Myron Reed. And I think the first one was you teamed up with Alex Kane and Calvin Tankman.
Yeah,
And then you were facing Ken Broadway, Myron Reed, and Nakeem Event. Hopefully I got the name right. And so what was this like facing Myron Reed? And that guy is one of the hardest working men in wrestling.
that man is incredible. His brain is just like he puts things together that
I
he
thought he was, so I'll be honest, I thought he was good. I thought in the last 18 months he's gotten phenomenal. Like I don't know
he is.
how he's gotten so much better in the ring and how he's done things and how he puts two and two together where I thought his growth would have only been X, and man, his growth is phenomenal. And that's not a knock on him. I just did not expect that in the middle of this entire COVID thing, he has like tripled, if not quadrupled, what he can do, which is crazy. I mean, it's amazing to see him wrestle.
Yeah, all those guys actually that you named, they deserve the world, and I'm just happy to be a part of it, and I'm just very happy to be in the ring with all those talents that helped me elevate and helped me achieve what I could achieve in that match, because I didn't even I did when Calvin put me up there and like spit me around. I didn't even know I was in the air for that long. I closed my eyes and I was like looked down like whoa. This really just happened. I just had to get back up and just like celebrate. And so I was like, I was very happy that I didn't land, or I was very happy that it was shot the right, well, not shot, but like I was through the right way by Calvin.
And even to talk about that, because obviously Alex Kane is killing it right now,
Oh
and
heck yeah,
Calvin
man!
Pinkman is just a beast, and
They all deserve it.
he's another big man that's just come out of nowhere, and he's a huge star waiting just to get a break in a lot of ways. And I know that you want to, I think you wanted to have a match with him, and you haven't had a singles match with him yet. But what was it like even to work with somebody who's been doing this for such a long time? And even having that knowledge rub off and sharing a ring with people who have paved the path in many ways for you and a variety of other people.
I'm just happy and excited to be in the ring with all those talents, because it's just like I look back where we all came from. We came from a place to where it's like, like some places that just shouldn't be named, but it's been a hard path for all of us, but it's I'm
I
just
think I
happy to
could put
see
it
us
really
doing good and
nicely.
better. But you said what?
I think I could put it really nicely where there are good wrestling schools and there are good environments and there are people who know how to train their wrestlers well and don't cross lines and don't attack wrestlers beyond the skill set. Meaning, if you do a hold wrong, you need to be told you're doing it wrong. First thing, the idea of attacking your personality or attacking you because the color of your skin or have prejudices for whatever you choose in your life or whatever your current situation is. And obviously, I think 2020, I think the tail end of 2019, not to get too controversial, has exposed a bunch of that. I think a bunch of that has been at least highlighted and is more in the light at this point. And it's unfortunate where sometimes you're in a bad situation, you have to leave that, and then you find places like New Wave Pro. You find places like Camp Leapfrog. You find places, like I think Cheeseburger School is a good one for
Yeah,
the point. So, you find places that actually teach you, and like I think Cap for the most part is pretty good, and they want to uplift their wrestlers, and there's schools that don't. So I think that's the best way to put it in. Unfortunately, sometimes you have to get rid of bad actors.
yeah. I'm just very grateful and very happy that we all get the stars, and the stars that we get are very bright, and there's some people that you know that have certain things, and it's okay, but we all have this talent that we can show the world that what we can do, because not everybody gets to be a professional wrestler, and I just want to make like my mom up there in heaven proud and make sure that like she's smiling down on me, which she is, and I just want to make sure that I get the opportunity again to step in the ring, and just very grateful that every day that every day that is a blessed day, because some people we lose some people, and it's uh it's hard to keep going, and I just want to make everybody proud and just make sure that sorry, I'm rambling again, sorry. um I want to make everybody proud that believed in me and just keep going forward.
And to even go further into this and get back to Myron Reed, obviously you faced him for the PPW title, and then you had a bunch of matches against him. And obviously, I think he teamed up with Nikim Advent and the Adi, which is Chris Copeland and Jack Andrews against Freddie Hudson, Jaden, and Dylan D. Ranger. And also you had another match that Freddie was involved in, and you were involved in, and Jaden was involved in. And so what was it like really getting to face him like 4 or 5 times? And I think 4 of those were somewhat around titles, and obviously getting to just work with him, because it is very cool when you're facing the champ and a face of a company, whether it's a title match or not, because all eyes are on you, and it's really just a great opportunity to shine, as well as just deliver a phenomenal match against people, and also, get to try new things and get to push, a champion and somebody like him who is really, really well. Just as you stated, his brain works so well that you're putting together a match and he's like, yo, maybe we could do it this way. And then you get, bigger because of it.
Every time I have like we like I have like these little light bulbs that goes off every now and then again, and then they see the light bulb go off, and they'll be like, yep, there it is. And I'll be like, oh, and then I'll be like, oh, and then like it's just the way people brains work, and it's just like I'm happy to be a part of the roster that I'm part of now, and the people that I'm around is like my circle is getting to the point to where I've started to understand wrestling and see it a different way, and just making sure that I perform in front of the fans that pays money to come see us, and then just make sure I put on a good show for them, and I make sure I put on a good show for the people that brought me there, and make sure that I put on a good show for everybody that's watching, and just making sure everybody gets sent home happy.
Yeah, no, and I love these matches, and I think that it's just very, very brilliant what they did in Paradigm Pro Wrestling, because obviously putting the two of you together, and I would love to see more matches. I would love to see an Iron Man match between the two of you, personally, because I think that would be phenomenal. I think it would be like Jordan Oliver, Tony Deppen level good. Just don't go for 2 hours. Just don't go for 2 hours. 2 hours is too much. At GCW's Wrestle Forever, 2 hours was enough. And so obviously that's but and that's something that I thoroughly enjoyed. And then there's 2 more matches before we get to New Wave Pro, and you got to wrestle, as I already mentioned, Ohio Wrestling Alliance, and you got to face PB Smooth, and happen to love peanut butter. So, what was this like? Because PB Smooth is also now a huge star in a lot of ways, and getting to wrestle for OWA's heavyweight title, going up against him, and that's just a phenomenal match. And obviously, this is your final evolution form as well, which we're going to get to. It's going to make sense in like 15 minutes, everybody. That statement, I promise.
I faced PB Smooth, and like again, everybody that's been put across, and they structure these matches, and I'm thinking, how do I go about this? And it's amazing that they put me up against PB Smooth, because he's another good one, and he's another, like, his brain works another way, and it's like, now that I can, like, his skill is like up there, and it's like, wow, like I have to face PB Smooth, and like I'm just very happy that they put me in the ring with somebody as PB Smooth, because put me in the ring with somebody with PB Put him in the ring. Sorry, my words. Blah blah blah.
It's okay. It's real. Say it. Everybody else can say it 10 times fast too, and they'll mess up just the same.
They put me in the ring with PB Smooth, and we knocked out of the park. And I'm just happy that they gave me the opportunity to be in the ring with PB Smooth, and they sent everybody home happy again. And
And what's crazy about this is that this is not even the best match you had in OWA. Because the best match you had in OWA was against Trish Adora for the Pan
Trish,
African World
yeah,
Sport. And I was there when she won it. I was in DC at that show when she won it. It was like everybody was up tapping the ring when she won it. That entire tournament was amazing. So much good talent was there at that show. It was crazy. And it's just a wild, wild show and I'm ashamed. It's unfortunate that they didn't get to run again in DC while I was still living in DC. But what was that like? Wrestling for that title, because it's a very cool title. I love the fact that that title is everywhere, and that it's defended not just in, I think, Battle Club Pro,
as it should be.
and the fact that it's her title, and whoever beats her, it's going to be the biggest pop for them, because she is killing it right now. And it's just amazing to see her wrestle and what she can do in a ring. And one or two things is going to happen. Somebody's going to beat her for the title, or she's going to get signed. That title's going to become a vacant title. One or the other.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a retired title with her.
Yeah, Trish Adora is also a good one too. Like, I faced her, and like the way the match went, it was amazing. And I heard a fan before I drop kicked her. I heard a fan saying, "Hit somebody already," and I ended up drop kicking her in midair as he was saying it, and I was like, "What in the world?" I looked around, like, "Okay," and I just went to go get her, and then like again, like the light bulb went off at that show too. Like I get these light bulbs to where like I have these ideas now, and it's like I have more of a idea in how the match, what I can do, and what we all can do better. Well, I can do better, and I have ideas to where I can input some of the ideas and hopefully make the match better, and or have ideas of things we should do or things we shouldn't do, or whatever the case may be. Um, I just love going out there and having fun, because it's like I have a smile on my face every time I go through the curtain, and like I know this match is going to be awesome, and I knew that it's going to be awesome, and it was awesome, because Trish Adora is one of those top people that's up there right now, and I'm just happy to be in the ring with her.
And also, this in many ways was a match that showed that you could hang with top people, and that I think people looked at this match and it was almost a you made it type match. And I hate using it that way, because obviously, and when we get into New Wave Pro, which we're about to get into, there is a shifting point in your career that you very much, and I think this was also just solidification of that shifting point of where you are right now, because you are killing it right now. And there's, I think, 4 or 5 matches in New Wave Pro that really solidify that as well. And so what was that like? Because given the year 2021 was, having solidifying matches is very, very helpful. And it's, I would imagine it's also a big confidence booster.
I'm just very happy that New Wave Pro had the opportunities and the faith in me that I can deliver, and I'm just very happy that they
Yeah,
chose.
we're going to talk about that, because New Wave Pro put a lot of push on you from the very start that you came in. Because obviously, I think you came into New Wave Pro 2019, right? And
Yeah,
so I know you faced Zodiac, I think, your first match, or one of your first matches. But then you got thrown into the NWP Ultra Rapid title. And
yeah,
obviously, Dewey Wellington, Johnny Echo, Sage Phillips, and Sage Phillips is another one who can do any type of match.
oh
And
yes, it's awesome.
and then you defended it against them either that same night or the next night or relatively soon after. I forget the exact date, but what was that like facing winning it and then defending against the same guys and having a very, very similar match in that realm, but also knowing everybody because now you're winning, relatively one of your first titles, I think, if not your first title. And that's a lot of faith for a promotion to trust you with. And at that point, you were just Miles Morales. I think we could state that for the time being. We're going to get to it, I promise. I do like Black Spider-Man. Don't get me wrong.
I think it was like my second title at New Wave or my first, I believe. But sorry about that.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. We're live. Anything could happen live. It's the Wild West. It's the Wild West live. If you mess up, we just keep going because I guarantee you're doing better than 90% of people because the 90% of people who are failing haven't even tried.
But yeah, the Ultra Rapid Championship was the first championship I ever held at New Wave. And then I went on to defend that against multiple people, and then like Sage, like you said, was one of those people that I defended up against, and I've had a fun time with it, and I'm happy that they gave me the very first title to be the very first person to hold that Ultra Rapid Championship, and I'm just very happy they put me like in the spot to one of the first people to have that championship, and they had faith in me like they have, and I went on to do other things, and then I happened to come across the Ultra Rapid Championship, not the Ultra Rapid Championship, sorry, the Crossroads Championship. I
So
apologize.
I do want to talk about that, but I do want to talk about one rivalry before we get into that, and that's against Nate Matthews. Because you and Nate have had, I think, 3 or 4 matches, and that rivalry ended in a 2 out of 3 falls match. And it's a pretty intense rivalry between the two of you. And I know he's one of those ones that's another one to watch out for. And so what was this like really going to war with Nate Matthews? Because obviously this was a build-up. Like this was a story. This wasn't just we're throwing a match together. This was like a story, and there was storytelling going on. And I think this was like, really a new wave. The first time I think you were really massively involved in telling a real story that was like emotional, and like I felt like I was watching a story play out in wrestling.
Yeah, me and Nate Matthews, we had a rivalry, and we got to the point to where we just wanted to show the fans that we can send them home with a happy smile on their face, or we can make them shed a tear, and we can make them feel some type of way, because that's what professional wrestlers have to do. We have to make them feel the connection with the fans and make sure that we perform as much as we can and try to perform to the best of our abilities, and I just love to send people home happy and make them feel a connection with me, and just making sure that like my match is also good too. And I just want to make sure that everybody gets sent home happy and make sure everybody is safe, and just make sure that it's just I had fun. I had fun with Nate, and I know that if we had the opportunity, we'll do it again, and we most definitely would do it again. And I know that the New Wave Pro had fun. New Wave Pro fans had fun as well, and we had some things that we did, and I just had fun. I just have fun in New Wave. I love New Wave.
And even talking about New Wave, because New Wave has given you a bunch of opportunities, and there's 2 big opportunities that they gave you in a lot of ways. I think the first 2 major is that you had a match against Solemn Tupu, and that was for the Crossroads title, and that was a no contest fight. And I mean, Solemn is a big boy. He's
man.
he's a
That's
big
the
boy.
one drop he gave me. I couldn't breathe for like a week. My ribs was hurting. I was like, man.
And so obviously anybody who knows what he looks like, anybody who's watched New Wave Pro knows that he's right now sort of, I guess, one of the pillars of that company in a lot of ways. And he is very much a beast, and he's very much a driving force. And what was that like to bring him to a no contest and to bring a fight to him and to have it end the way it ended, where it's still undecided between both of you? And it's very, very cool when that happens because this was a war. This wasn't a fight. And I think that's something that people need to understand is that this was something very different than I think has been seen at the time with New Wave.
I've really gave that's that's like it's like telling a story and then like a to be continued happening, you know, and then it's like they want to see more because of what we can do and what we have done, and then we could probably do more hopefully in the future, and then hopefully I get Solomon Tupu later on, and hopefully that I can go again for that New Wave Pro Heavyweight Championship belt.
And then the other opportunity, because obviously we want another match out of that, and there's a bunch more opportunities, but the other big first second opportunity was you versus Shiloh Greaves, and
Ah,
it was
man,
the NPW general manager job versus Shiloh Greaves.
bro.
I was speaking to Earl about this because he was on a little while ago, and obviously this is a crazy match. The stakes were never higher. And what was that like going into this? Because this was also very much hyped up, very story driven, real consequences, and it was nice to have this type of match, and it really boosted you up in a lot of ways and gave you a lot of running ground to go off of.
It's like I had so much fun that I got lost in it, and then I damn near cried because I forgot about it. I didn't forget about it, but I like took a step back and I was like, "This is what this feels like. This is what love feels like." And that was like chanting my name at the end because I had so much fun that I forgot that I was saving the company. I was like, "Oh, this is fun. Wrestling's fun again." And I was like, I cried because I've never had that chant before. The thank you Miles chant. I never had that before. And now I forgot that I saved the company. I just went out and have fun. And then like some of the stuff that was happening, I forgot that was happening. That was supposed to happen. And then like I just got lost in it and I just enjoyed the match and I love the match for what it was. And I love Earl and I love everybody New Wave and like I just had fun. And then that's why I started crying because I like fell in love with wrestling again. Cause I like before that I had like a falling out of wrestling and then I just went back into the person that I was, and I felt like I loved wrestling, and I started crying.
And also, I feel like this was sort of the impetus slash the birth, because obviously at this point you started taking on the mantra of "Don't die, Miles." And before this, and I mentioned already, you were Miles Morales.
Yeah,
And for those who don't know, that's Spider-Man. Obviously, it's the Ultimate Spider-Man, the other Marvel side of the universe. The book that is sort of the new generation Spider-Man. That's a $1,200 comic book if you have them, and for $4. And I happen to have two of them. No, they are not for sale. I got them for free, which is crazy because comic shops were giving them out in 2013 for free because they couldn't get rid of them, or 2014 because they couldn't get rid of them. Crazy, crazy, crazy world. If only they held on to them and they had like 100 of them. Oh my God, you'd send your kid to college. I'm like, would you be like if you had 20 of them? But what was this like, really leaving this behind? Because I know that you were a lot of fun. You were a fan favorite, and obviously a lot of people liked Miles Morales and that character and where that was going. But now I think there's a lot of risk when you say I need to change and I need to evolve. And are people still going to like me? Am I going to get booked the same way? And are fans going to come around to this new persona and this new idea and what I am? And obviously that bet paid off very significantly because people, I think, like you even more now. But what was going through your head? Because it is a big decision.
it was great. I finally got to choose who I was, and I I really fans picked my name for me basically because every time they would chant "Don't Die, Miles," and then I was like, okay, there's something that's a catch on to that, and then I just dropped the last name and just went ahead and went on with the "Don't Die, Miles," and then I just pretty much embraced it and just been myself ever since then.
And then obviously, I think it's also great in Jet. It's just catchy. It works with Shooters Don't Die and all that stuff, and it fits in really, really nicely. and then this sort of spun out, you capturing the NWP Crossroads title. And so what was that like, capturing that title? Because what you do with that title, and you ran with that title, and we're going to talk about all the matches. And there's one match we're going to talk about at the end purposely that, is the guy that I mentioned like 40 minutes ago. So obviously, but what was that like, capturing this title? Because this was a real big push once this name change sort of happened, and you got to choose who you are. You get to be your final form, for lack of a better word.
It was amazing because like I never thought I didn't think that like I started like having fun, and then like they was like, okay, Earl was like, okay, here we go, and we're gonna put you in this match, and then we're gonna do this, do that, and I was like, okay, cool, and I started having fun again, and then it was like, all right, you got opportunity now, here you go. I was like, wow, they really believe me that much to where they want to put another belt on me, and then I was just having fun. And it was like, hey, here you go. Everyone was like, here you go. You're going to do this. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Heck yeah. And then I won that title, and then I had fun with that title. And I just look back on the memories of me winning that title, and just like, I still have footage of the unseen footage of the title and stuff like that. So it's just, I'm just very happy to be at New Wave and got the opportunities that I was given, and I ran with the best I could. And I just can't wait to do more stuff at New Wave, and I just can't wait to. I just see think about wrestling right now. I want to wrestle right now, actually.
And to even talk about this title defense, obviously you had matches against Eric Dillinger, Sage Phillips, Chase Holiday, Anakin Murphy, Ace Perry, Kevin Giza, and then the match, and the guy I want to talk about is Gary J, because
Yeah.
you had a bunch of matches against Gary in quite a few different promotions, and the last match I think was something special, and this was Mob Rules. And so that was a last man standing match. And obviously, Gary J, for those who don't know, is known as one of the hardest hitting chopping men in wrestling. He's done some crazy things. He's had legendary wars with Warhorse. Obviously, the two of them have legitimately wrestled all over. I don't know if you've seen when his first match in the chains in ICW, No Holds Bar. They, and I forgot who, went into the audience, and Larry Legend almost had a heart attack, calling it, saying, "Get out of the way," because I don't think that anybody in ICW ever did that before, where they were legitimately going and fighting into the audience. And I don't think the ICW audience knew what to do with Gary. And so what was this like? Because you had a big, event, Mob Rules, and Gary J and you are in a last man standing match, and he is very much a death match fighter. So while last man standing match isn't a death match, it's pretty close to it.
I had fun. I lost my title, but I had fun, and I thought about it, and I was like, this man, I had the most fun I ever had before, and then, like, I'm just very happy, and I'm just very.
Is it also like a wrestling checklist? Because obviously you're wrestling in the Midwest. I think Gary is very much in the Midwest. He's St. Louis Anarchy is a home of his. And obviously everybody wrestles all over the world now. But very much that Gary is a Midwest wrestler. A lot of IWA, Mid-South, or I think it's Mid-South, right? And so a variety of other promotions as well. And so is that also a thing for you, where it's just a checklist, where people like Aaron Williams too have been around in this sector forever, and so there's certain people that you feel like you need to wrestle in this territory because it's just a wrestling checklist type thing?
Do you mind repeating the question, like rephrasing it, rewording it?
Yeah. So when you were wrestling Gary, because I interrupted you sort of, but a little bit, but it was the idea that Gary's been around in the Midwest forever. And so it's just, he's one of those legendary wrestlers sort of in the Midwest that's been doing it for almost 20 years. And for you, is it also a big deal to wrestle sort of the veterans and have those matches? Because these guys aren't going to be around forever. And to say, oh, I had a Gary J match, I had an Aaron Williams match, I had, certain matches with the old crop, which is the veteran crop, for lack of a better word, because it's important to have those matches, and to also, because not everybody gets to have a Gary J match, for instance, and also to do it in a last man standing match, and to do it in his territory, because it's kind of, if somebody's been around in the Midwest forever, I think it's a big deal to some degree. So is that something that also went through your mind during this match, saying, hey, we're getting a really big platform on a show that's going to be watched, that people actually want to see, and that this is super important for it to happen?
Yeah, I wanted to test myself against Gary and see how much I can take and how much punishment I can take. And he brought the fight at that last man standing for the New Wave Pro Mob Rules Crossroads Championship, and he brought the fight, and I was like, he didn't bring it, but he had it. But like he made me dig deep and uh he made me bring a side of me that I've had that I've never brought out before, and he's a great person. He's actually he taught me a couple things that I've used along the way, and he's actually a great teacher and a great mentor. And he taught me a couple things, and I picked up on, and I've been using, and I thank him for that, because the things I've learned from Gary J, he's a great teacher, and I just learned from things, and he's a great teacher, and I thank him for that.
And then also, this is just another one of those matches that really solidifies you as a wrestler, and really just shows what New Wave Pro can do as well, and what you can do in New Wave Pro. And I think that's the other thing about this, where that entire Mob Rules card is one of the best cards that New Wave Pro has produced. From top to bottom, it is an amazing card. And the entire thing was great. And as I stated, the only complaint I have with Wave is they need to stream this stuff versus putting it up later, because that match, if it was live, would have been phenomenal. And I understand that, you can only do so much when you're a new company, and there are advantages to both. The New Wave turns this stuff out within like 4 or 5 days of filming it and recording it, and they get it out pretty quickly. But even still, it would have been so much better if it was live. And obviously, though, I am curious with you in New Wave, because some of this stuff has been pre-recorded, and some of it, and I know me and Earl were speaking about this live on my show maybe 6 weeks, 7 weeks ago. It's the idea that a lot of New Wave was running as much as they could during COVID, with limited fan attendance, sometimes no fan attendance, sometimes with not making a profit but producing content. And so what was that like for you? Because obviously, wrestling with fans, without fans, it's tricky, because you don't know how something is going to be done, because fans are the ultimate judge. And if they're cheering, boom, or if they're really bored, it sort of gives you good feedback. And now you have to turn more to Twitter, but you can't really gauge in real time, if that makes any sense. So what was that like for you, adjusting during the COVID era? And we're still in the COVID era, but as a wrestler, because it's been a weird 20 months.
I've been thinking about like what I've been like wrestling and stuff like that, and during the COVID era, I was wrestling, and then I would like turn to Twitter and see how like people are reacting to certain things that I've done during the COVID era, and then I would like pick up on some of the positive things, and I would keep doing them, and then I would like take criticism, and then people would talk to me after the match and get like give me feedback and everything. I'll take the feedback and everything, and I'll just try to make myself better and try to make sure that I do all these little things and make sure that I hit point A to point B and to point A to point Z, and make sure that I do more of some of the things that I need to start doing. And then I just got try to get better at certain areas of my work, and then I try to do more of try to do more of what I could do, and try to be just a positive role model, and try to just be an uplifting, positive source of smiles in a way.
Yeah, I mean, it's been every wrestler that I speak to has had a different reaction because it is very tricky what's gone on with COVID and just even gauging what's going to work and what's not going to work. Because when I go to wrestling shows, some matches I'm just bored out of my mind, and sometimes you have a really hot match and you need a cooler match, and the point of the cooler match is to gauge the emotion and not exhaust the fan because I can't be screaming for 3 hours and clapping and cheering for 3 hours straight and not have my voice get hoarse. You need different matches also for pacing. And I would imagine that it's somewhat tricky. And Twitter is also tricky because Twitter can be a really fun place or it can be a really nasty place.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on where you're at. And so, I've actually pulled off of Twitter. I used to tweet out a lot, but now I've pulled off of Twitter just because it's a very contentious place right now. And I use it more for business. And once I schedule all my social media for the week, I'm not much on Twitter right now because it's just contentious. But that's just me because I'd rather be, doing something else that's more fun. But where do you, and I'm curious because obviously I'm not a wrestler, I'm not commentating, I do this, I'm very much a podcaster, I interview a lot of people, I speak to people from all over the world, and I'm curious where you view wrestling going. And I come from the pop culture space, and there's a bunch of debates going on about anime cons, comic cons, video game cons, and I know you're into all that stuff too. So where do you think obviously wrestling is going with COVID? Where do you think anime cons are going with COVID? Where do you think Comic Cons and pop culture events are going? And when do you think we're going to get out of it? If you want to answer the question, because some people don't know, you might just have to ask a magic 8 ball.
I think that certain things get like I just bought a gong outfit and stuff. So like I want to get more into Comic Con. I want to get more into like go to the conventions and everything, and just to be a part of the place that I never got to experience as a kid, and get to dress up and stuff. And I wanna get my gear more inspired as Gong and do other things and just be more of a like more put more like I guess you can say like put more of a spin on my work, I guess. But yeah, I wanna. Sorry, I'm going off banner here, but
Oh, please. I'm totally fine with it. It's awesome. I love it.
um, yeah, I think that the COVID era right now is it's hitting us hard right now, but I think we're gonna bounce back even more and even stronger as like Comic Con and like wrestling. It's taking a hit right now, but it's gonna bounce back.
I think it's going to very much be a rebound in June of 2022. In which that I think the next 4 months, because personally, I'm not doing anything. I have a physical condition, I have a genetic issue, and I'm vaccinated, but I don't trust anybody whether they're stated vaccinated or not. And I'm not ready to go be around 100,000 people at New York Comic Con so quickly. It could take a few years for me to feel back comfortable. I'm not even 100% comfortable being around 1,000 people at a wrestling event either. And it's nothing against anybody, but I want to let this thing sort of settle down a little bit. And I want more science out there because it's very complicated with what we've been told, what we've seen, what's going on. And as long as there's all these variants out there, if I get sick, I have parents who are older, and I don't want to bring something to the house, and they're vaccinated. And we have parents who are in their 60s and 70s. The last thing I want to do is bring something that could kill them at this stage. And that's the other thing too, is that if that means I don't get my Batman comic signed this year, so be it. You know, and if I have to watch wrestling from my computer, so be it. Pour myself a rum and coke, and I'll be perfectly fine. So that's how I feel, and it's. But I'll support wrestling. I'll buy T-shirts. I'll buy merch. I'll buy whatever. So obviously that's. But I'm most likely going to be sitting on the sideline for the next 6 to 12 months. just because until things settle down, I just don't feel comfortable enough. And I don't want to put somebody else at risk, which I think is the best position, and that's a personal choice. But I let people make whatever choice they feel is appropriate for them, because I am not you. If you're watching this, and that's the thing, is that I believe people can make the best choices for themselves, and they can have the consequences. But I'm not going to go risk my family
Right.
to accommodate your position versus accommodating mine. So obviously that's how I feel. But I love watching wrestling, and I do agree it's going to bounce back. I just don't know when
I
exactly.
totally understand that. Hey, it's okay because we all have like we all have family out there, and I just want to make sure that everybody shout out to everybody to make sure everybody stays safe and wear a mask, please, because we don't know when this COVID thing is going to be over. We
And
don't know
we don't
because it
know
all
when
comes back.
we don't know when it's going to be over. And even if, and not to get too political, even if a mask is only 50% effective, 50% is better than no percent. And it's any percentage is better. And I'm not anti-mask. I'm not anti-vaccination. Um, and people should wear masks. I think people should get the vaccination. You know, but again, the whole point of it is that it's to help you and protect people that you're interested in. And don't do it for your neighbor. Do it for your significant other, your family, or somebody else that actually matters. Because I don't really care about your neighbor. I care more about your family. So that's just me. But obviously, I care about your neighbor too. But that's not the point here.
Yeah.
Also, I want this all to be over. So having said all that, getting out of controversial topics, what is next for you? Because that's what I'm super curious about, and I do want to give you an opportunity to self promote. Actually, before we do that, I got like 3 questions that are super important. So, favorite
Okay.
comic book character? We're gonna start there.
My favorite comic book character, uh, does Dragon Ball Z count?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm down with manga. I'm a big
So I
anime
love
fan.
Vegeta. I love Dragon Ball Z, and I I don't read a lot of comic books, but I watch a lot of anime. Um, I know that like Hunter x Hunter and like My
So,
Hero
so
Academia.
what are you watching right now?
I'm watching Dragon Ball Z, Hunter x Hunter, and My Hero Academia, but I'm on season 1 still of My Hero Academia, and I watched a little bit of it. It's been pretty good so far, and my girlfriend trying to get me into that, so I've been doing a lot of watching anime, bench watching with her as well.
Watch Odd Taxi, and don't read anything about Odd Taxi, and you'll be pleasantly surprised. It's a brilliant 12 episode show, and it's not what you expect. And you're gonna look at it and you're gonna question it, and then when you get to episode 12, you're like, oh, this all makes sense. It's gonna change the way you do things, and it's a little violent, but it's not over the top violent. And it's definitely more psychological. And it's not psychological like fucking you up in the head psychological, but it
Mhm.
makes you think a lot about storytelling.
Nice.
And I recommend it. It's on Crunchyroll, so if you have a Crunchyroll account, you could watch it for free or with ads, or you could watch
Okay.
it without ads if you pay the $80. And so that's like my go-to anime recommendation right now. And so that's question one. Question two is, what's your favorite video game?
Oh, that's the hard hitting question that hit me in the gut. Oh man. So I have a PS4. I
So,
have
so,
an
so
Xbox.
we could do two. We could do two. We could do your all-time favorite video game that you've ever played in your entire career. Because you're young enough like me. I'm 28, so that list isn't too long. And then also what you're playing right now on your PS4/PS5. That's sort of your
I
go-to.
have multiple systems. I have an Xbox One. I have PS2. Currently have PSP right now. It's somebody else's, but it's
You stole it.
I didn't steal it. My friend gave it to me. Um, actually, Cameron gave it to me. Um,
Oh,
I have
your friend gave it to you. I got it.
no. But he jailbroke it and let me use it for right now. His name is Cameron Saturn. Name dropping. Oh no, I'm just kidding. But yeah. he let me borrow the PSP. I have a PS4, a PSP right now, Xbox One, a PS2, and then I have that's pretty much about it right now that I'm playing. I do have Jump Force though that I'm playing right now, and if you have an Xbox account or a PS4, just add me. But I have Dev. I want to play Def Jam 5 for New York so badly because I miss it so much, and that's the one of the main games that I've been trying to convince my girlfriend to buy. And she's like, no, not right now. We have to get the tires fixed. So I'm like, I'm gonna cross my fingers. Hopefully, his tires will cost a lot of money, so I can get the Def Jam 5 for New York, and and hopefully find it somewhere that's not sold out or can't get it from this replay right now. I'm calling around. I'm trying to figure out some stuff out about that. But yeah.
And so obviously you got a bunch of stuff going on, and I'm an Xbox guy. I've been playing a lot of Cyberpunk 2077, and I just beat that game, which is fun and bad. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I played like the first 20 hours, legitimately leveling up every single skill before I started playing through the story, and I basically gathered infinite ammo
Oh,
because
I'm sorry. I have to cut you off. I'm so sorry. I have a PC too, but I have to get it upgraded. It's so slow right now. It's like slow, so I have to like upgrade it and get it going and stuff. So I'm trying to get that going and stuff. But yeah, I've been trying to get more into PC gaming too, and like get Twitch and stuff like that, and try to make sure that I get everything situated. But yeah, sorry to cut you off. I apologize.
no, it's all good. It's all good. Everybody cuts me off anyway. It's all good. It's all good. It's live, and I love it. And apparently, everybody wants you to. You need a PC. Everybody's saying that you can't afford a PC. Everybody's saying you wrestle for NWA, and that NWA wants you, and they're all. And certified hustlers saying, "I'm going to act you at NWA." So you might have an agent now because of this show. So clearly, we struck a nerve here, and this entire show should have been versus talking about wrestling. And then and then finally, and I am actually super curious about this. And now we could actually, I guess we're dealing with two questions because we got off on a big tangent and we sort of answered like four other questions in this. Obviously, I want to give you an opportunity to self-promote. So what upcoming wrestling shows do you have that you could talk about? And then also, where can people find you on, Twitter, Facebook? Obviously, check out where you're wrestling, what platforms you're wrestling on, that people can go check them out. And anything else, I don't know if you do Twitch and in streaming gaming, or if that's something that's coming out because that's big right now. And so where can people find you and all that stuff and what you're doing? Because obviously people want to go see you wrestle and watch you wrestle in a variety of areas and promotions, whether they're streaming it or in person.
Yes, I have Don't Die Miles across all platforms. I'm doing a TikTok thing right now. It's on TikTok too. Upcoming dates, I have September the 18th, EWE Golden Dragon. I'm getting pizza cones if Golden Dragon if we do decide to get pizza cones, but we're going to get pizza cones anyway. Golden Dragon. I have September 25th, New Wave Pro, Unsigned and Don't Care versus Shooters Don't Die. I have October 2nd, Chicago debut, Butch versus Gore, Jossie versus me for the Black Wrestlers Matter Championship. I have October 9th, Rival Showdown. I have October 17th, Unsanctioned Tag Team Match. Me and Freddie going to go against, what is it, October 17th. Yeah, it's a Columbus, Ohio show for Unsanctioned Pro, but we're going to be there. We're going to get anybody we're going to face or whatever. Sorry. November 6th, EWE versus Razor Wing. And that's right now about it, I think. Unless I forget anything. No, I think it's about it.
And then obviously it's just Don't Die Miles on social media. And what I've been saying to everybody, you have to support indie wrestling. And what this means is that you have to go buy tickets to indie wrestling shows. You got to go buy tickets if you're in the area, if you can during COVID. If you can't, A lot of these places might have a GoFundMe, they might have a Patreon in association, or conversely, you have to actually go watch the stream or watch it when it gets uploaded on a particular platform, because it does matter. It does let those companies know that, hey, people are watching this, it helps them. Obviously, it helps the platforms they're streaming on or on demand on. And then even going further into this, you got to buy people's merch, whether that's a pro wrestling tees or a big cartel, or, I forget the third one that you have, which is
Brainbusters.
Brainbusters. And so obviously there's a variety of things. Some people have their own that they've built, and their own web stores they've built, or their own Shopify stores. It doesn't really matter what platform they're using, whatever they're selling, whether it's a t-shirt, an 8x10, wristbands, hats, anything of that nature. That's a way to support wrestlers, because that does help. And it is super, super important to support wrestlers right now if you have the money to do so, because that helps to cover costs as well as provide additional income beyond wrestling shows, especially, all throughout COVID, bookings were tighter, on top of the fact that we don't know if bookings are going to get tighter. And even if they don't, well, some wrestlers are still, obviously in, that position where COVID's done a lot of damage. So I recommend everybody do that. But even going beyond that, if you're in a bit of a money quagmire at the moment, one of the things that you should do is follow people on social media, tweet at them, like what they're doing, retweet it, share it. When they're wrestling, whether it's live or it's premiering, obviously tweeting at it, commenting on it, acting, because that also helps tremendously. And you never know who's watching, and it can make a big difference. So obviously that's something that I encourage everybody to do. Also, I'm indie. I have Buy Me a Coffee. While I do have a sponsor, and they do help this show out tremendously, and they are helping to make this show possible for the next 12 months. Buy Me a Coffee, because I also am very indie, and I appreciate shares, likes, subscribing on YouTube, checking out the Facebook page, and a variety of other things, because it does make a difference to me. But more importantly, I just really want to share, because I want a lot of people to see these interviews, because I think it is super important. So on that note, I'm going to give you the final word.
Coffee's good. And I love support wrestlers, support wrestling. We all have lives with families. It's COVID right now. Just go out and just have fun, and then just go ahead and kick it with us. We're all family. I want to say one thing and couple things. We all love wrestling. Just because you think that we're bad guys, we're not bad guys. We're nice. Stay hydrated. Be nice to each other. And I love you all. Stay hydrated. And yes, come out to wrestling shows, support any wrestling, and have a good time.
And I think that is a wrap.